Report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, let y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So you actually have George Santos, Republican congressmember for New York, actually being sworn in today. This is why there's all this controversy and these new investigations going into the boy history, because it seemed like he's been lying about everything about himself. The nigga said he was, and you know, this is a whole gay white man, whatever, so I'm using nigga very carelessly, but you know what I'm saying? Motherfucker said he was you know, he was a descendant of Holocaust survivors, and you know that didn't check out. Even though he said that he had found out that he was related to somebody that was Jewish and all that, whatever, it just didn't look good. He lied about the schools he had attended, and you know what I mean, just his whole history period. And now it's coming out that Brazil is actually going to revive fraud charges against the kid for you know, basically purchasing something with a fake $700 check while he was in Rio de Janeiro. Now, apparently he had admitted to it while he was out there, but by 2011, when it was, you know, time for the get down in the courts or whatever, he was already living in New York. Now, currently, he denies all charges. We'll see how that turns out. Green Wall and graduation. What the New World Order, Bishop Grady, let y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So the 118th Congress of the United States is actually officially convened, and you have a Republican leader, Kevin McCarthy, actually set out to be the Speaker of the House, you know, with Nancy Pelosi being gone and all of that, and led the vacancy, and he looked like he was going to win. However, he doesn't have the full 218 votes that would actually be necessary to clinch that spot, even after he was sucking far-right Republican dick this past weekend, talking about to the far-right, to the more of the far-right Republican leaders, agreeing to terms that, to a snap election to oust him from the Speaker of the House position. So they still ain't vote for his ass, but you know, we'll see how that ends up turning out. Green Wall and graduation. Report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, let y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So over in occupied East Jerusalem, illegally occupied East Jerusalem, you actually had at the Al-Aqsa Mosque a bunch of Palestinians there, whatever, you know, they do the Muslim thing, and you had National Security Minister for Israel, who just was sworn in last week, Itamar Ben-Gvir, actually pull up to this mosque, deep as hell, with a bunch of security people. Now, this was seen as like being provocative. Actually, you had Palestinian Authority calling this an unprecedented provocation. Now, this is happening not only with Ben-Gvir being somebody who's been convicted of like racist incitement against Arabs, as well as supporting a terrorist group, but he's also coming in under a government that's seen as being the most extreme government yet, since it's the formation of Benjamin Netanyahu's Likud party with the Jewish Powers Party with the religious Zionist party. So, you know, and Netanyahu, he's somebody who's he has not tried to hide how nationalist, how pro and ultra nationalist he is, and actually he's facing 3 like really serious criminal charges, you know, bribery and those types of things or whatever, when he was got put out of office before, or when he lost the election before, but now he's back in it. So it's looking crazy. But you had Palestinian authorities, saying it's an unprecedented provocation. But Hamas, you know, the strong arm for the Palestinian Authority, was basically saying that, you know, I mean, nobody's going to help. The international community is not going to help. The United States is not going to get them to stop. Nobody can stop them. So if they keep doing what they do, then it's just going to lead to battle and violence on the battleground. You know, basically saying, fuck around and find out. The more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out. Green Wall and graduation. The New World Order, Bishop Grady, let y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure you check out the graduationparty.org to get some high quality, very affordable, and highly accessible mathematics tutoring for yourself or a loved one. You can actually get quoted for answers. You can get on-the-spot tutoring, as well as book traditional virtual tutoring sessions. Now, moving on to the news, you actually have in the occupied West Bank, you know, shared by Israel and Palestine, technically illegally occupied by Israel or whatever. They actually were doing raids in a village outside of Jenin, and actually ended up, while trying to demolish these 2 homes that belonged to these 2 other Palestinians that were murdered in a shootout this past September, they ended up killing 2 other Palestinians and then wounding 3 others. You know, shot those two people dead. So a lot of people that are around there, they believe that this was, you know, very much a revenge situation. It's collective punishment, and if it was up to them, they probably demolished the whole area. You know what I'm saying? And based on these reports I've been giving y'all as editor-in-chief for BFN, that doesn't surprise me. Green War on graduation, yo. Streets reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. Now, since this past September, there have been protests that have been going crazy over there in Iran regarding the murder, or seen as the murder, of Mahsa Amini, a Kurdistan woman that actually was taken into custody by Iran's morality police for not wearing her hijab and then ended up dead. So it sparked a lot of protests, and Iran's government has not been taking these protests lightly. I mean, a bunch of people, we're talking hundreds, have actually been put in jail. Hundreds have been killed. And you've even had people being publicly executed and, you know, getting blamed for, you know, the death of this cop or whatever without any, like, legitimate trial, whatever, hung up in the air for all to see. Like, it's real over there. So when I tell you this story, it speaks to how extreme things are. You actually have a female chess player, Sarasadat Kademal Sharia, actually was in a tournament in Kazakhstan and actually was receiving threats for to not return to Iran. So she actually had to flee to Spain because, you know, Kazakhstan is a little too close. She fled to Spain because she was not wearing a hijab while she was doing the tournament. And Iranian law says that women have to wear their hijab even when they're abroad. So it's real like that. Green War on graduation. This reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. All's fair and love and war. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody trying to hear that ceasefire shit, holiday shit, because just as the ball dropped and the clock struck 12, you actually had Russia sending missiles over to Ukraine. You know what I'm saying? A barrage of missiles over there to Ukraine, like it's just early in New Year's Day, just after midnight. But now you actually had Ukraine's military saying that they murdered at least 400 Russian conscripts and wounded 300 of them as they sent a whole bunch of missiles to Ukraine's Russian-occupied Donetsk region. Mind you, this is the region that actually holds a lot of Russian-speaking citizens. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of the regions that was actually included in Russia's listed demands, Vladimir Putin's listed demands before they went and set an invasion. Nevertheless, you have that back and forth going on. Deadly situation. Russia's military doesn't give those numbers, though. They actually said there were 63 of their members killed, not 400. However, whether it's 63 or 400, it's actually one of the deadliest attacks against Russia since they invaded this past February. We were headed up to a year since they just basically waged war on this neighboring country. And best believe, the United States, everyone involved with NATO, has blood on their hands, including the president of Ukraine as well. You know what I'm saying? Because there were things that could have been done differently. You know what I mean? Some might ask. So I don't know. What do you think? And I want to hear from the scholars, people that research, not motherfuckers that just beat off and read headlines all day. Green War on graduation though. Reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So, Saint Benedict, Pope Benedict the 16th actually died this past Saturday. They had him in St. Peter's Basilica. He died at age 95. Rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? Y'all already know. If you are in the know, I don't give a fuck about a Catholic church. You know what I'm saying? I think all of y'all Catholics is weird. You know what I'm saying? For even still being a part of the system, knowing they systematically rape children. It's not like there's these one-offs or the people that happen to be Catholic just have a habit of fucking liking little boys. Like, no, this is systematic. And he's one of the people that actually facilitated this. Back in 2013, he's the first pope to actually resign ever. You know what I'm saying? But from the Vatican, whatever. However, this is somebody who in 2021 there was a study that came out that showed that there were at least 4 incidents of sexual abuse where he was silent during his tenure. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, come on, man, it's people like him that made that systematic. And so you know he probably was touching on boys himself, even though this hasn't necessarily been set and proven and put out there. But he at the very least helped it be systematic. And you know what I mean? I don't fuck with that shit. And you shouldn't either. Now, this is also somebody, he didn't even appreciate, liberation theology. He was anti-abortion and birth control, which I can understand from a religious standpoint. I guess I can comprehend it. But nevertheless, like very much, he was against women being in clergy and in the cardinal positions and all of that, whatever. Just a fucking rest in piss, yo. Fuck out of here, Pope Benedict. And all y'all paying respects to him, like, are y'all conscious of this shit? Or are you complicit? You complicit, I'm on your ass too. Green War and graduation. For the New World Order, Bishop Grady let y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News Report. If you or a loved one need mathematics tutoring, make sure you check out the graduationparty.org. You can actually go straight to the website and you could get instantaneous help with mathematics tutoring, or you could get a quote for an answer to a problem, or you can book a traditional tutoring session that can happen virtually. Now, moving on to the news over in Mexico, the Associated Press reports that 17 people were actually murdered at this prison in Juarez, Mexico, when gunmen had basically stormed the prison and set it up to where like a couple dozen prisoners could actually escape. You know what I mean? All haven't been identified with like a big drug cartel out there. And Rafael Caro Quintero is a drug lord, and he was identified as one of the escapees. Now, this is in Juarez. This is a northern border city for Mexico, where it's right across the border from El Paso, Texas, where, I've been reporting to y'all how El Paso, Texas actually, man, they got a state of emergency right now. They having to put so many asylums in jail. And Juarez actually is considered like an epicenter of violence throughout this U.S.-backed war on drugs in Mexico. So there you have it. But you see how they get down. I put in broadcasts in the past on how the Sinaloa cartel and the moves they made to get El Chapo's son out of jail. Like, niggas don't be playing with that. Oh, you a cop? They don't give a fuck. They coming. They want what they want, and they want what they want when they want it. Green War graduation though. Streets reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News Report. So, 49-year-old Amber McLaughlin is actually set to be executed today in Missouri. Now, the curious case about McLaughlin is that, first off, this will be the first transgender person to ever be executed in the United States. This former man actually transitioned since they were sentenced and put in jail back in 2006, and have even, still been in these male prisons in these past few years. However, unless Governor Mike Parsons adheres to the plea deal submitted by McLaughlin, she's going down. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying she's not trying to be funny. I just really get tripped up by that situation. Nevertheless, very much a man when this murder happened, where bro had actually was dating a chick and essentially couldn't get over her, broke into a house, had a restraining order put on her, and then actually stalked this person out at their job, and caught her out the job. And then reports and research showed that it appeared he actually killed her in that parking lot, stabbed her a bunch of times and raped her on the ground, and then drugged her body into his car and peeled off. So obviously there's a lot of people not having any remorse for anybody like that. Now, the jury that actually did the murder trial, they were kind of deadlocked on it, on the case. But in Missouri law, the judge can actually have the final gavel and sentence somebody to death, which they did for McLaughlin, who is now a transgender woman. And if you want to say transgender women or women, this will technically be the first woman to be executed in Missouri since 1976. Now, the plea for clemency actually came from the fact that bro had actually suffered a crazy traumatic childhood. You know what I'm saying? Prostitute mother, alcoholic, abusive father, bastard child. Then he was actually went into foster care, in which they joked about that place being a house of horrors. Foster parents locking cabinet doors, not letting you access food, and you know, you getting in trouble and they rubbing your face with feces. He had a really low IQ, was considered like having mental health issues as a kid and even up to adulthood. So, you know what I mean, fucked up, tragic story. You know what I'm saying? Seriously. But I doubt that Governor Parsons actually gives that up, because, you know, it's the South. They love executing motherfuckers, man. And that pussy must have been good as hell, you know what I'm saying? So shorty's probably some pretty chick, and that compounds onto it, because you know the world gonna go to bat for her prettiness. Green War and Graduation, no, fucked up. What other new world, the Bishop Grady, let y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Welcome back for the new year, happy holidays and all that jazz, you know what I'm saying? You know the kid, you know how I'm coming. Man, celebrate and appreciate every day of your life, you dig? But appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure you check out the graduationparty.org if you or a loved one need mathematics tutoring. We're definitely turning up with that app this year for sure. But now on to the news. So this past Friday, you actually had Democrats from the House Ways and Means Committee actually reveal or release thousands of documents from Trump's taxes over the past over 6 years. Thousands of pages of tax documents from him and his wife Melania across his hundreds of businesses. And what they came to find was very interesting. Some people were saying, well, he was just playing the tax code right. You know what I'm saying? Doing what rich niggas do. Other people were saying that it shows brazen tax fraud. And I'm expounding on both points or whatever. But it showed that in 2017, his first year for office, he only paid $750 in taxes. You know what I'm saying? I know people who make shit that's paying more than that. Now, and then in 2020, he paid $0 in taxes. Now, let's be clear. The income tax is exactly what it is. It is an income tax. You know what I'm saying? It is not a wealth tax. However, as the president of the United States, you get a salary of $400,000. That is income. You know what I'm saying? That's not land, that's not property, that's not assets, that's not business evaluation, that is income. So it's a little confusing, but you know what I mean? Everything kind of be shady with, you know, the orange guy, you dig? Green War and Graduation. For the other new world of the Bishop Grady, let y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So, free the real, you know what I'm saying? Big shout out and salutations, congratulations to Luis Inácio Lula da Silva, who is actually been sworn in for his third term of presidency in Brazil, and did so in front of hundreds of thousands of people in the capital of Brasilia. Now, keep in mind, this is somebody that actually was put in jail after his last presidency, you know what I'm saying, under trumped up charges basically, and it turned out that the judge that put him in there was like, had ties, was kind of, you know what I mean, close to the former president of that country, Jair Bolsonaro. You know, this is somebody that's been like, you know, criticized heavily by the international community for being cool with people that was burning down a lot of forests in the Amazon. So, among other things, his COVID-19 response, I mean, he's seen as kind of racist, pretty racist or whatever, you know, but, and he actually did not concede to losing this past election, and boycotted the swearing in by actually going to Orlando, Florida to be with his people and all of that. So it's like, you know, still hasn't admitted that he lost, you know what I'm saying? And you had him and his son is like a politician in Rio de Janeiro, talking about how like it's the most corrupt election of all time. Took a play right out of the Trump playbook. Let's keep it a band. Green War and Graduation, that's how you know the niggas lying.